What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Beyond Politics, episode 18. This, of course, is an in-depth conversation where we bring our perspective to a relevant political topic of the day. I'm your host, Jared, and with me, as always, is Seth. And what are we going to be dropping today?
So clearly, the most important thing that's happened in the last couple of days.
Probably in this year.
Eminem has a goatee.
Yeah, Eminem does have a goatee.
So we're kind of going to be stretching the politics aspect of this, mostly because it's something I just want to talk about, because it's something I care a lot about his music, and I really like Eminem. And if you've been under a rock, because I kind of have seen it everywhere. Last night there was the BET Awards, where during the awards show, Eminem did like a 4.5-minute freestyle a cappella spoken word almost thing where he basically just obliterated Donald Trump for the whole time, or at least went at him.
He went at him
in Eminem's way.
Yes.
So we want to talk about this. I think he made some relevant points. I mean, it is Eminem, so I mean, is it really let's just get out in the open? It's really not important what he has, what he thinks isn't any more or less important than what we said.
Yeah,
it's another celebrity coming out in support of hating Donald Trump.
Shocker.
It's not really surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the best-selling rapper of all time and one of the best-selling musicians of all time. So I think it's holds a little more weight than we've talked about T.I. on this. We've talked about Lil Wayne. I mean, Eminem has more reach than both of them, and pretty much any other musician around, especially any rapper around. So it's a little interesting, I think, that he came out and said this, but at the same time, I mean, if you know anything about Eminem's career,
it's not shocking.
It's not shocking at all. And if you've been paying attention at all, it's not shocking that he hates Donald Trump. I mean, he's been saying F Donald Trump at his shows that he's been doing over in Europe. He put out the campaign speech song last year during the campaign where he intentionally was saying his dislike of Trump. And so a lot of people have grabbed onto this. I mean, obviously you have the left supporting it, and you have the right being like, this is ridiculous, who cares? And I think I'm kind of in the middle, but I kind of thought it invoked a couple of good things that I think we could talk about.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to do this. I mean, again, we're going to stretch politics. It's not super important. I mean, it is just a celebrity.
Well, I think it's interesting because I think one thing that a lot of times that Democrats or people on the left typically do pretty well is they can use kind of culture and stuff like that to influence certain politics, as you see with tons of celebrities and stuff like that. Granted, Trump is kind of a celebrity president, but I think it's something that definitely people or who are conservative, small government, whatever, still need to pay attention to culture and stuff like that, just so they can be relevant with a lot of people that they'd be reaching out to and talking to. But with that being said, what's your first kind of initial reaction?
My first reaction was, I wish it was a song. I wish it was a beat to it, because it is a little awkward sometimes. I mean, I think it was more of a technical kind of rapping or whatever, but that's kind of aside. But what he was actually talking about, I thought he actually, I mean, in Eminem's style, when he says something, he's very technical, right? He knows how he goes attacking people and what he says. And I think he did some things that were very smart. And I think it's just as when you look at what he said, I think not only what he said, you can take a lot of, but also what he didn't mention. I mean, you didn't see him mention anything in support of Hillary. You didn't see him mention anything about what Trump said about grabbing women, which is a big talking point, because I do think that those aren't important to him. I think he did talk about things that he felt were important to him. And he's great at calling out hypocrisy. I mean, he's made his whole career by being the black sheep of the music industry, where media was constantly going at him for things he said and his lyrics and his what he said in his songs, and he would constantly throw it back at them. And I mean, there's no really better artists taking criticism and just turning it around, turning it into more success, and making them look like a fool. I mean, that's kind of what it is. So one of the things he highlights on and he brings through multiple times is I think with the NFL, right? Yeah. And talking about how it's kind of ridiculous that he mentions picking a fight with the Packers, which I actually thought is kind of interesting, because it did stir us to talk about things that really aren't important.
You mean the
we weren't talking about Puerto Rico. We're not talking about Puerto Rico, really. We're not really talking about Las Vegas. I mean, it has been, the NFL has been a grand thing that we've been talking about. And is it really that important?
Not really.
I don't really think it is, but I think that then again, this is where I think it comes down to intention.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if maybe. I think it was definitely a political stunt that he did.
Trump?
For sure. But I think that the media still talked about Puerto Rico like freaking crazy. I still see it a good bit of the time. But with the NFL thing, I thought it was interesting because he does one part of the song. It's kind of towards the end where he does the Black Panther salute, and he says, "This is for you,
Kaepernick."
For Kaepernick, right?" And I was just like, it's strange that one, so obviously Eminem has the right, of course, to criticize Trump for coming out against the NFL. But like Trump comes out and takes the position where you should stand for the flag. It's disrespectful for you to not do that. And, you know, it's basically crapping all over the vets. And then so Eminem comes out and is like, no, Kaepernick has he was doing the right thing. This is great. Everyone should do this. So that's fine. They can both do that. But then, like, also Eminem has done plenty of rap songs where he's saying, like, F the police and stuff like that. So it's like, it's bad. You're criticizing Trump for saying, hey, you should stand for the national anthem. But then I can be over here saying F the police and then doing a Black Panther salute.
Well, so see, here's where I thought it was really genius the way he went at it. Because, yes, he does have a history of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Which... a big problem that I've had with a lot of these media outlets that are like coming in support, like I watched CNN talk about Eminem like they were the biggest fans. I'm like, you guys were hating on him not even 10 years ago, thinking he's the worst thing ever. So that's whatever. But when he talked about how Kaepernick was kneeling or whatever, so I'm a big proponent of it's not so much what you say and what you do, but it's the intentions behind it. So we all know, and not we all know, but the intention was to fight the racism that exists in America that they perceive as existing, right? Yeah. And they chose to kneel for the flag. Yeah. So they knelt for the flag. And then a lot of people turned that and said you're disrespecting the whole military, which you kind of are. And you have seen it kind of backstep where there was that one Sunday where everyone knelt. And then the next Sunday you had people kneeling before the anthem. Yeah. So kind of being like, okay, we recognize that this might not have been the best way to show our support for this.
Well, because of ratings.
But not only that, he talks about how what he said about McCain, which I think is great. Because what Trump said about McCain is way worse than anything anyone has done kneeling for the flag. Yeah. When Trump said McCain's not a war hero because he got captured and his war heroes don't get captured.
I thought that was probably, for me personally, the only legitimate point, like good, cohesive point that he made.
I think there's a couple, but that's one of the one I'm like, okay. Because see, and Eminem made a point. He said he supports the troops. He supports America. He was not saying, I support Kaepernick hating on the troops. Like, he made it very clear. I support Kaepernick using his platform for what he wants, but I also I'm not going to disrespect his troops. I mean, yes, he has in the past. I don't know if it's necessarily the troops, but he has definitely with the police. Yes. Sure. At the same time, you also have to understand rap. I mean, it's kind of the MO of rap. I mean, he has.
But people would say you also have to understand political campaigns. I mean, not defending Donald Trump in any way, but he's in a campaign against, these.
You don't need to say that.
No,
I'm sorry.
You absolutely don't need to say it. But you also don't need to say the police in rap songs every 24 seconds.
But you don't. He doesn't do it that much. Like, I can't think of a time specifically where he said that. I can think of a bunch of other artists that have said it. But Eminem, I have a hard time. Again, I haven't listened to him in a while.
Yeah.
But I mean, it comes to be intentions, and Kaepernick's intention, whether or not you can think it's valid or not, was to fight against racism, right? Because he saw the flag and he didn't mean to disrespect the troops. But Trump's, what was his intention by saying McCain? To maim McCain in the election? I mean,
to get a rise because Trump is Trump.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a more evil intention with Trump, and it's kind of true. Why don't we talk about that? Why are we so quick to demonize these people that are kneeling? And I do think that it is kind of messed up. But they're not like. Imagine if Kaepernick had said that about some veteran. If he had come out and said, "Listen, I don't think veterans are really veterans if they get captured. If they've been a POW, screw them. I don't want them as a war hero." No. That would be horrible. Everyone would ridicule him. But yet we give Trump a pass. Which he did say it.
He got wrecked for it, but yeah, he still got
He
elected.
got the president,
Yeah,
he's in a much more powerful position, much more important position, because it's a football player who really cares.
Yeah.
So we have our president of the United States. That's something I think everyone should rally behind, saying, okay.
Like I said, I think that was one point where Eminem, definitely brought up a good point, and that's definitely interesting, and people have criticized that before, and rightfully so, because that was just a really stupid, outlandish comment that we talked about.
It was horrible, man. Are you freaking kidding me?
But really, I can't think of anything else in the freestyle rap, whatever. Like I said, I wish it was a song too. Yeah. Because I think that'd be half of what makes rap awesome is a sick beat.
Yeah.
But I like the line about the kamikaze thing. He's gonna.
Well, I think that was just kind of building up.
Sure, maybe it's building up, but I think that's absolutely ridiculous. The whole Donald Trump supports the Klan.
Yes, I think that went too far.
Ridiculous.
But what about when he talked about how
maybe traveling around? I could see that one.
When he was ridiculed. I mean, there's a whole subreddit of Trump criticizing Trump where they just grab old Trump tweets.
Sure.
That he would always criticize Obama and Hillary about traveling and using up the funds. Where now we can see we have the information. Like, he's traveled way more than both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, whether or not, like, I mean, I don't know if I necessarily have a problem with that, but it is hypocritical. And Eminem's great at pointing out hypocritical aspects, which I think are kind of valid.
Sure, no, I think that those 2 points are valid. I can't think of anything else, but there might be something else.
There's one more near the end, yeah.
One more near the end. Okay, but what I think is almost hypocritical about the whole premise that he takes is that I haven't heard anything from him, and I've listened to a good bit from Eminem. I've listened to a lot of Eminem
for a long time.
Talk about politics.
He's always talked about politics.
No, okay, talk about politics for the last 8 years, blaming politicians and talking. He hasn't mentioned Obama by name once in a song that's bad.
Not that I could think about. No, he did mention Bush.
Sure, and Trump has been in office for less than a year and has done way less than Obama ever has. And he's just wrecking him. He wrecked him before Trump was even president. He wrecked him all through the campaign. It's clear that he is completely biased against Trump.
It's hard to argue. I mean, Trump's done worst for the culture of this country. Whether or not it's his fault,
I don't think
him being there has been an issue, right?
Sure.
We're more divided now. But that's also, I'm not going to put that as Trump's fault.
Yeah,
obviously.
I wouldn't say that's Trump's fault.
But I do think that spurs people to speak out quicker because things are worse.
Sure, but I think that he spoke out against Bush, too. I think that he has a history of speaking out against anyone who's not a Democratic president.
He's speaking out against Hillary a lot. He destroyed Hillary. He made fun of Bill a lot. And the Monica Lewinsky thing, saying, how can they do this and what I say is bad, yet you have the president in office, which literally is happening, yet you're attacking me.
So do you think he stayed consistent the whole time, or do you think that now he's kind of more pandering to an audience?
I think this is genius,
especially to do it at the BET.
I think it's genius for him because
I think it's totally genius because he's going to be dropping a new album soon.
He's supposed
Everyone's
to be
talking about him.
And it's a win-win
to a huge audience for him.
It's a win-win because exactly. It for one, people just. I mean, he's a huge name. He's going to garner a little bit of hype. But this is insane amount. He should be dropping an album soon, which I'm super excited for.
Yeah, which he'll be in the news.
Exactly. So he's in the news now, which is always good. Any publicity is good publicity. And if Donald Trump goes back after him, which I really don't think he will.
I think he would have already.
Yes, because I think there's someone there being like, you probably shouldn't do this. Because there hasn't really been anyone that's gone after Eminem that's won. Political, anything. Because politicians used to try to get his stuff banned. They thought like, oh, he's corrupting our kids, they constantly said. They're saying his lyrics are part of the problem in the American culture. Like, he's been under attack his whole career, fighting against it, and he's always come out on top. Like I said, one of the best-selling, I looked it up, he's like number 30 best-selling artist of all time. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, he's not gonna go down in hype. Plus, when he did at the end, which you can whatever, like his songs have been violent in the past. Yeah. So you kind of understand where he's in the line. He talks about drawing a line, saying you're either for Trump or you're against Trump. And if you're on the line, I'll let you know that I basically don't want you as a fan.
Eminem. Yeah.
Right. That, a lot of people are like, well, I don't think that was a good idea for him. Yeah, these people that are saying it's not a good idea for him because he's going to lose fans, you're out of your freaking mind. It's a great idea because he's going to get way more people to listen to him because he said that than people that lost him. And, I mean, it's Eminem. That's what he does. He's polarizing. He is a shout voice. He makes you think of things and laugh at things or just listen to things that you never thought someone would actually say. I mean, he's had songs throughout all of his career that you're just like, I cannot believe this is on the radio, making it huge with someone saying these things. I mean, it's just what he does.
Yeah, I don't think that it's particularly business 101 to do that kind of thing, but I think in the case of Eminem this is definitely trend, dude. One, I don't think he cares at all because has tons of money regardless. But two, I don't think he's going to really lose any money on this at all because like you said, he's going to gain a lot of fans and just popularity because the vast majority of people who probably listen to Eminem aren't going to be like,
super conservative.
Trump, super conservative. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's really just kind of throwing, he's kind of getting rid of them and then pulling a ton of other people in who are in a divided, polarizing.
And the last thing that I thought he brought up that was valid, that I liked, he talked about how are you going to want to cut taxes and yet you want to build a wall? Essentially saying that what you're proposing, saying, oh, we'll cut tax breaks, but then also some of your policies, they don't line up. There's no way you're going to be able to build this wall and cut taxes. And I do think that,
unless you cut other places,
it's art, it's music. Cut. You can look into it as much or as little as you want.
Sure.
I personally, I'm a big fan of him. I've been along the ride for a long time. Even that I do think that he probably hates me. I don't support Trump, but I just support the presidency. But I think that he's saying more of that is saying again, talking about the hypocrisy and what Trump's proposed. His two proposals, like he does want to lower taxes. supposedly, but then he does have things like there's no freaking way you're going to lower taxes, and his tax plan that came out is going to add trillions to the debt, which he said he wasn't going to do. So I do think there's valid.
You can't. Yeah, you have. If you're going to cut taxes, you have to cut spending, or else it's going to add increases.
It's not doing what he said he was going to do, which I mean, no politician does. But again, it's calling out a valid point.
Sure.
I think it's completely valid.
You can cut taxes and still build a wall. You're just going to raise the deficit and our debt, which, by the way, Obama doubled it.
Yeah.
And never got called out for it. So I guess now
But
I think
this is here, this is now.
Sure, but
you know what I'm saying?
Never was here.
Just
now
because
for the past 8 years.
he did it bad as well doesn't mean it's not bad now.
No, I totally agree. But it's just hypocritical to not call it out then and just now all of a sudden.
Well, I don't know if it's hypocritical. I mean, I think that it wasn't nearly. He probably felt it wasn't as important. I don't know, because it is.
Sure,
it is a little bit different
because he liked him.
One of them was he never, not I know of, came out in support of Obama. This is the first time I've heard him mention Obama, and that he did say Obama. Like, I mean, he was like, it's better than Trump, but I mean, whatever. I mean, a lot of people didn't like Obama. Like, I know Wayne turned on Obama quickly when he's like, Obama didn't do anything.
Yeah, because
he kind of didn't do anything. Yeah, and
I just think it's weird if you're gonna call out. And once it's not weird because Eminem can do whatever he wants. Yeah, sure. But if you're gonna be calling out presidents because they don't do what they say, and then you don't call out this president who didn't do what he said.
Well, he didn't call out Obama. I mean, he called out Bush. He's called out Clinton. He's called out presidents. He has a history of this. He has a history of being political, which again I think holds more weight because you see a lot of people jumping into politics now because it's the hot thing to do. Yeah. Whereas Eminem's been knee deep in this forever, and it's interesting too because he's kind of been, like he mentions in the song, they have a similar style in that they kind of both don't care about what the media says, you know? And he mentions that in the song, which I think is also interesting. But he has been a victim of the media trying to make him a scapegoat.
Except for now, the media loves him right now. But
no, but I'm saying I agree. He's experienced that, and you notice he didn't bring that up. Yeah. He didn't bring that up in the song because I think he understands that he's been that same victim. So that's not something, because there is a bunch of stuff you can criticize Trump for, and that's not something that he thought would be valid because it would be hypocritical for him to do that. I think that he thinks a lot about his raps.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt.
So I think that he definitely made a conscious decision to not mention Hillary, to not mention the fact of the scapegoating and the fake. Like, I think he talked about the things he thought were passionate about. And I mean, the Kaepernick thing is very weird to me because I just can't wrap my head around the idea. I think he's just pandering to
that
one. I do think,
100%. But then he's obviously making fun of people down south or whatever because he goes into that kind of southern redneck voice. Yeah. We're gonna build a wall. We're gonna get rid of all the immigrants.
Which I just laughed. I mean, that's what he.
Yeah, it's laughable, but sure. But none of that is true at all. I mean, Trump has done more for he's talking about making DACA permanent. Mm-hmm. And he's not building any walls, not deporting anyone.
He wants to build a wall, though. He keeps mentioning the freaking wall. Sure,
but that's not anti-immigrant at all.
Yeah,
that's
border.
That's just enforcing border. And
I mean,
enforcing laws, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But Eminem kind of goes after it, so I thought that was kind of ridiculous. Like I said, I thought the John McCain POW thing was interesting, and I think it's something
that we don't. I haven't even thought about that. Sure. Like, I forgot that was a thing, and I did. Like, why do we give him a pass?
I mean, it did happen almost a year and a half ago.
Does it matter,
nobody remembers what happened 8 seconds ago nowadays.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I haven't even thought about it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he did get ridiculed for that. But he still is the president, obviously, because he was against Hillary. Yeah, I mean, they both
which is crazy to me.
But that's crazy, and then obviously Trump has been super hypocritical about flying around, and even his people in his cabinet that he's picked, one of them... Tom Price just had to resign because he was flying around spending money. There was a report that apparently he wanted to spend money on his honeymoon, like public money. Yeah. So that's garbage. But I didn't think the whole kamikaze thing I thought was crazy.
I think that was just funny lines. What was he really saying?
Sure, funny lines. But
that's Eminem.
But I think he's going after it. And then at the end when he ends with, we don't dislike the military, we just effing hate Trump.
Yeah.
Like,
which I think is
going
valid.
At it. Sure, it's valid.
Because I think there are a lot of people that are putting on a motive, like putting the wrong motive on the people kneeling.
All in all, do you think that is it smart or anything like that? But is it helpful for culture? Is it unifying or is it more polarizing? Is this helping anything at all? Is it good? Is it moral?
I think. Well, I mean,
moral's not the question. It's Eminem. Is it a good thing for culture?
For culture, I don't know. Because I do think that it is important, and we are, I think, putting motive on people that's probably not their intention. You know, like I do think a lot of people, especially after Trump went after the like we have to remember Trump went after the NFL. Like, who cares?
Yeah, but the NFL started it. But yeah, sure.
Kind of, but then not really. And then like you put motive on them.
They started it with the St. Louis.
They never said they wanted to say against the military. And then Trump put that on them, saying he's disrespecting the military, which, yes, you kind of are, but he put that motive, and then they retaliated by saying, okay, you know what, that's kind of right. All right, so we're going to kneel before the flag or whatever.
Yeah.
And there still are people kneeling during the flag. That's whatever. But a great amount of them were like, okay, you were kind of right, so we're going to change because that's not really what we meant.
Yeah.
And I do think a lot of people still do put that on them right away, like, oh, they hate the military. When
or
they're like, well, listen, we
even
don't.
military or law enforcement.
Yeah, well, I think law enforcement, I mean, it's a little... they probably do not like law enforcement. But, I don't know. Probably not great for, I don't know, culture. Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think it
was
starts a
smart
conversation.
For Eminem. It definitely starts a conversation.
Eminem.
And I bet you there's plenty of people who didn't really... I mean, Eminem's super famous, but there's probably plenty of people who didn't know exactly who Eminem was or what's been going on.
I don't think there's many people that don't know who he is.
Yeah, but dude, like, I talk to people who are like younger than me and stuff, and they don't listen to Eminem at all.
Well, he hasn't...
anymore.
Yeah, he's
like,
not.
Eminem was cool when I was growing up. I used to listen to Eminem all the time.
He's still cool, and then Recovery came out when it was big.
I mean,
guess, he has
maybe.
hit songs.
I don't listen to quite as
Everybody
much rap,
knows
but...
Monster, which was off his latest album. Everybody knows Love the Way You Lie. Everyone knows that song.
Yeah.
I mean, these are huge songs.
But Recovery was back in like 2010, wasn't it?
Yeah, but then he had Marshall Mathers LP too. All his albums have gone diamond.
Yeah, no, I mean, Eminem is huge.
Platinum.
But I think that this was definitely, like I said, a good publicity stunt for Eminem. It's a smart move on his part. Whether what he said is accurate or not, that's up to you.
Is this going to make you stop listening to him?
No, if I want to listen to Till I Collapse in the gym, and freaking I'm going to listen to Till I Collapse in the gym. But I mean, I don't know.
Does it make you think less of him?
I didn't think much of Eminem to begin with.
Really?
I respected his talent to rap, and I thought he was incredible at it. But other than that, I don't have any respect for Eminem.
Really?
Just like any other real rappers.
Really?
Or celebrity that I like. I respect their ability to act. Like, Tom Hanks is a perfect example. I think his movies are incredible. He's an amazing actor. I disagree with him on literally everything else, and I don't have that much respect for him as a person, but I think he's good at what he does, and that's fine. And I don't really believe that much in, like, all out, like, just boycotts of things. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that's useful. I view that's something that, like, a snowflake does. Oh, I don't like what you do personally, so I'm not going to buy your product.
You can separate the artist and the music from the person.
Sure.
Which I think is important.
To an extent. For the most part, I can. And Eminem, like, I don't have that high of standards for Eminem anyways, because I've listened to his music. A lot of his music. He gets political. He says, white America is all about that.
Dude, I was thinking with his new album, he should just re-put that song out. It's pretty much just as valid now as it was back then for the culture and the climate. It's kind of cool.
Sure, if you think it was valid then. But yeah, I mean, I think it
was valid then because it was just talking about how everyone hates him, and he was like, well, most people are like me. What are you guys doing? I mean, that's what white America is about.
Yeah.
Could be one of your kids, I don't know. I don't know. I like that he did it just because I'd like anything that I know and learn more about Eminem because...
I don't like acapella freestyle.
Yeah, it's I have to listen to it a couple times. It's like
when someone says it's technical, that's like if you ask your friend, oh, is she hot? And she's like, well, she's sweet. It's like, it's technical freestyle.
Was that movie good? It was great if you're a filmmaker. It's
exactly.
So it probably sucks to watch.
It's
it wasn't. If you're looking for an Eminem song,
it's not really that. It's definitely lyrically. Once again, it was smart because his lyrics were more political than he's ever been. I would think. No, I don't think in a song where he's
literally said he wished the president was dead.
Yeah. Okay, but I'm just saying that entire song, that 5-minute thing was
4.5 minutes. Oh, it was 100%
politics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you had white America was politics. We as Americans is politics.
Sure. I guess, but this is like super. Like he's never called.
It's the most
these lyrics
direct
matter
at
a
single person.
Yeah, the lyrics
he's done
in this
political stuff
a lot, and I think he wanted the main focus to be only on that. That's why it's just him talking.
Mm-hmm. Which I mean, and I've loved watching people talk about it that clearly know nothing about it. I mean, nothing. Like, these CNN reporters have no idea what they're talking about. Oh, it's a typical Eminem song. You have to really respect his talent. Like, you don't know one Eminem song.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I did think it brought up a couple good points that we talked about. I mean, there are things wrong with Trump. And, I mean...
Like I said, and honestly, though, I think this helps Trump in the end. So... I think that the majority of people who are in the middle who see this aren't going to resonate with this at all.
Okay.
But we'll see. I mean, I tend to think that this helps Trump in 2020.
I think it's kind of mute, and it just helps Eminem.
Well, because I think it definitely helps Eminem, but I think the people who, and this is a lot of people who are like, oh, celebrities are just all left wing, they're all left leaning, they're all just out to get Trump, whatever it is, or out to get.
But he brought up valid points, which was such a great
some
part.
valid points, but he washed it away with some other crazy ones.
Yeah,
so you can, it almost cancels itself to some people. I don't know.
And people that don't know Eminem aren't going to understand that's what he does. And so they're going to be like, oh, he was vulgar. It's like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Most people aren't capable of saying, oh, this is a good point, and oh, this is a crazy crazy point.
There's
and
more than
saying,
just
this
yes
is a
or
good
no.
one, this is a bad one. Most of the time, it's like, oh, I hate this, so the whole thing is garbage, or oh, I like this, so everything is true. You know what I mean? Which isn't the case at all with this one.
I think his next album sells better than his last album.
His last album sold really well?
Marshmallow, they also won platinum.
Yeah.
He's got 2 albums that are diamond.
We'll see. Like I said, I think this was smart for him.
You think it helps Trump though?
I think it helps Trump for sure.
Okay.
Because like those.
I don't think it talked to anybody that wouldn't already hate Trump, probably.
Yeah, like I don't think this.
But I don't think it hurt. Like,
this...
who makes a political decision based on a rap by Eminem?
Exactly. No, that's not what I'm saying. But who listens to this and is like, oh yeah, now I hate Trump?
I think what they did with me is literally things that I hadn't thought about.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know personally, and again, I'm just I'm just a big Eminem fan.
But is this gonna make you vote Democrat next time?
No, but it makes it stirs a conversation like we're doing right now, which I think is important.
Yeah.
So in that situation, I do think it would help the culture in the fact that we're people that aren't just gonna blatantly be like,
really
oh yeah, another left guy, or oh I hate him because he's on the left. Like people that are actually gonna like listen to it and dissect the words. I think there's a little bit of something there, you know. And at the end, it only helps Eminem. And I really, really, really want Trump to go at him because I would just love Eminem to just destroy Trump.
I don't think Trump will do that.
I don't think he will either.
I don't know if he'll.
I think Eminem called him out. And he's like, he's not going to do it. And I don't think Trump will.
But there's been plenty of people who've called Trump out who hasn't attacked.
But
there's
also
been
people that haven't.
Who he just
he's gone out he's gone at an ESPN reporter. I mean, Eminem's a lot bigger than that.
That's true. I was listening. We'll have to talk about it. I'm going to tell you something off air. It's interesting. But all right, guys. So that's going to wrap up this week's Beyond Politics. Tell us what you think in the comments below. We really appreciate it. Like Seth said, this did create kind of a conversation, so that's kind of what we want to do here. Talk to your friends about it, see what they think. Always remember, guys, we'll be back next week, and stay informed.